In Mumbai, India, teenager Ovi Mahajan Jr. is the son of the biggest drug lord in India who is currently imprisoned. One night, while out with his friends at a club, men dressed in police uniforms shoot his friend and kidnap him, working for Mahajan's rival, the biggest drug lord in Bangladesh, Amir Asif. Mahajan's lieutenant Saju Rav goes to see him in prison to tell him the bad news, and Mahajan Sr. tells Saju that Ovi's kidnapping isn't about ransom, it's about humiliating him. He demands Saju go into Asif's compound and extract him, which Saju says would take an army. Mahajan says tell Saju if he doesn't get Ovi back, Saju's son won't live to see his next birthday. Saju goes home to his young son and wife Nesa and tells her that since the police have frozen Mahajan's assets, he's the only method Mahajan has to get Ovi back. Saju tells Nesa he knows someone but his price will be far out of Mahajan's range. Nesa tells him to do whatever he has to do. In Kimberley, Australia, Tyler is having beers with friends cliffside and leaps off the cliff into the water below, shocking his friends. When he gets home, Nick Khan is waiting for him. She tells him about the extraction job and that it's a complicated one, and Tyler agrees to take it. Nick watches concerned as Rake drinks and takes pills, and decides it was a mistake to come to him, thinking he has a death wish. He insists he just needs the money. She agrees to take him to the job as long as he shows up sober. Tyler and Nick travel to Dhaka, Bangladesh and meet with their team and get the intel on the extraction. Tyler goes into the city to meet with the ransomers and they cover his head and load him into a van. When he is unmasked, they demand the money. He refuses without proof Ovi is okay. One of them holds a gun to Tyler's head and pulls the trigger, and he doesn't even blink, having already noticed there is no magazine in the gun. They show Tyler Ovi, bound and gagged but alive in another room. With an assist from his team on snipers, Tyler then violently takes out the kidnappers. Sparing only a child soldier who he urges to leave. He frees Ovi and the two make their escape from the building. Asif has one of his henchmen throw young children off the roof to their deaths until one of them confesses to taking his money. A young teen, Farhad, says it was the child he just threw off the building. Asif applauds his cleverness, then tells him to cut off 2 of his fingers since the thief is dead, and he needs a reminder to everyone not to steal from him. Before Farhad cuts his fingers off, Asif is informed by a colonel that Ovi is no longer captive. Farhad is spared, and Asif orders the city and all transport out of it shut down. Tyler films a video showing he has Ovi with him, then begins taking him with him to the extraction point, where a few members of the team are waiting to meet him. However, at the Nick and the team's command headquarters, they do not receive the funds they were supposed to be transferred upon receipt of the video. The rest of Tyler's team waiting at the extraction point are ambushed and killed by Bangladeshi police who descend on the extraction point, forcing Tyler and Ovi to flee. One of the squad of armed men chasing them turns out to be Saju, who beckons Ovi to come with him. Ovi wants to go, but Tyler throws a grenade and takes Ovi away with him. Ovi insists Saju works for his father, but Tyler finds everything suspicious. Tyler and the police have a long and winding car chase, which then leads to a foot chase where Tyler has to fight and kill many of the armed squad of pursuers while keeping Ovi safe. He has a brutal physical fight with Saju that goes down several floors and into the streets. Tyler is hit by a car, giving Saju a chance to kill several Bengalese police and grab Ovi, but Tyler hits Saju with a truck and takes Ovi with him, leading to another police chase. They get out before the car explodes, and Ovi helps Tyler, who is very wounded, limp away. When they find a safe place to hide, Tyler instructs Ovi on how to help him tend to his wounds. Nick calls Tyler and informs him that Saju is ex-Special Forces. She tells Tyler that they were played. They wanted the team to extract the kid but never intended to pay them. She gives him information on where an extraction point is that would allow him to get out of the city and tells him he has to leave Ovi behind. He doesn't want to leave him behind and tells Nick to find him the money. Ovi overhears and remarks that Tyler, like his father, thinks of him more as a thing than a person. Meanwhile, an extremely wounded Saju also tends to his wounds, breaking his own nose back into place. He calls Nasa and says if she doesn't hear from him in 12 hours to take their cash and disappear. He has her put their son on the phone so he can talk to him one last time as well. As Tyler and Obi begin to head toward the extraction point, they are attacked by Farhad and several other child soldiers, now heavily armed by Asif. They put up a fight, but Tyler is able to subdue them and takes Ovi into the sewers to keep fleeing. He calls Nick for aid, who is dismayed he hasn't ditched Ovi, and tells her to call Gaspar, an old mercenary currently living in the area. Nick says that isn't a good idea, but Tyler insists, saying Gaspar owes him. Gaspar arrives, picks them up, and takes them to his home. He and Tyler have a drink, and Gaspar tells him that getting out of the city will be incredibly difficult. Farhad loses a finger for his inability to get Tyler, and he pleads with Asif to let him take another shot at Tyler, telling him Tyler made him look like a fool. Back at Gaspar's, Ovi apologizes to Tyler, saying it's his fault Tyler almost died. Tyler tells Ovi it's only his own fault. Ovi calls him brave and asks Tyler if he has a family, and he tells him he had a wife who he hasn't seen in a long time, and a son who died a few years ago of lymphoma. He was in Afghanistan when his son died, having gone voluntarily, unable to bear watching his son died. He tells Ovi he isn't brave at all. Later, Gaspar tells Tyler that there's no way Ovi can get out of Bangladesh alive. Asif will never let it happen. He tells him the best thing for Ovi might be to mercy kill him now rather than let Asif have his way with him. He tells Tyler the bounty is 10 million and urges Tyler to just give up the kid. Tyler shoves Gaspar, who reveals he's made a deal with Asif, $10 million. They both get to live and they give up the kid. He tells Tyler he doesn't have to kill Ovi, he'll do it, and that he's saving Tyler's life. The two have a brutal physical fight, and before Gaspar can bash Tyler's head in, Ovi enters with Tyler's gun. When Gaspar charges at him, Ovi shoots him twice, killing him. Tyler comforts him as he cries. Out of ideas, Tyler calls Saju and arranges a meeting, telling Saju he just wants to get Ovi out. Saju tells Tyler how Mahajan threatened his family. Tyler tells him he will draw the enemy's fire in order to give Saju a chance to get Ovi to safety. Tyler blows up a vehicle and then lays down gunfire, giving Saju and Ovi a chance to make a break out of the city in a car. But when they get caught in traffic, they are forced to continue on foot. When they are stopped by the police, Saju gets into a firefight with them. Tyler engages in his own battle with enemy forces, while Nick arrives armed up with her team to the extraction point and takes out an enemy helicopter with a rocket launcher as Asif watches from afar in horror. Saju tries to clear a path to get Ovi across the bridge but gets pinned down, so Tyler rushes in to begin taking out the enemy forces. Saju is shot in the head by a sniper and killed, leaving Ovi alone. Nick manages to snipe out the sniper, and Tyler gets most of the ones on the ground, but he is gravely wounded, taking us back to the beginning of the film. He imagines his son as Ovi arrives and holds his hand, crying. Tyler directs him to run to the helicopter as Ovi begs him to get up. Eventually, Ovi runs for the helicopter. When the coast is clear, Tyler gets up and heads for the extraction. But a bullet rips through his neck as Nick and Ovi look on in horror. The shooter is revealed to be Farhad, who Nick shoots at but manages to escape. Ovi runs for Tyler, but Nick holds him back. Tyler remembers his son before falling off the bridge into the water below. 8 months later, Ovi has returned home to India, while Asif remains in power in Bangladesh. Asif enters a bathroom when Nick enters and shoots him in the head, then multiple times as he lays on the ground. Ovi dives into a swimming pool and surfaces. As he previously told Tyler, it's not falling into the water that drowns someone, but not being able to get back above the water. As Ovi comes up from the water, a man appears to be watching Ovi from outside the pool. After barely surviving a previous mission in Dhaka, Bangladesh, Tyler is rescued from the river and taken to UAE for medical treatment. Nick is by his side throughout the duration. Even though Tyler is in an extended coma, she refuses to give up on him. Tyler regains consciousness. Intense physiotherapy later, Tyler is regaining mobility. 9 months later, Tyler Rake retires from mercenary work to a cabin in Austria to recuperate. Nick and her brother Yaz took Tyler to the cabin, and Nick asks Tyler to focus on rebuilding his life. There, he is approached by a stranger, Alcott, and asked to rescue Ketavan, the sister of his ex-wife Mia, and her 2 children, Sandro and Nina, from Georgia. Ketavan married David Radiani, one of the co-founders of the Nagazi, the largest crime syndicate in Georgia. After David threw a DEA agent off a bridge, he was imprisoned and unable to bribe his way out due to the pressure from the Americans. David forces Ketavan and her children to move into the prison to keep them from leaving him. But the bad living conditions and David's abuse cause Ketavan to call Mia for help. Sandro believes that David is right and is training him to grow up into a Nagazi. Meanwhile, a governor on his payroll informs David's brother Zurab that David's sentence is extended by 10 years. Zurab asks the governor to release his brother, but the governor refuses since he does not want the Americans to go after him. Enraged, Zurab kills the governor and his bodyguards. Alcott tells Tyler that David and Zurab run a $1 billion heroin operation from Georgia. Their gang members are fiercely loyal to the brothers and are treated like family. They have all the politicians in their pocket and practically run the country. Once Tyler picks up Ketavan and her kids, Zurab will throw the entire Nagazi army at him. Tyler starts preparing for the mission by pushing himself physically. Tyler recruits Nick and her brother Yaz to join him, and they infiltrate the prison with help from a bribed guard. David alerts the prisoners, who start a riot. During the extraction, David attacks Tyler and Ketavan, resulting in Tyler killing him. Sandro doesn't see Tyler killing David as Tyler had sent him and Nina ahead with Nick, while he stayed behind to deal with David and his mob. Ketavan stayed behind to help Tyler, but soon their exit is blocked. Tyler and Ketavan fight their way through the riot and an entire yard full of prisoners. Nick picks up Tyler and Ketavan at the prison door, and they drive away just as Zurab and his forces descend upon the prison. As Zurab's forces attack their vehicles, Sandro figures out that David has died. The group manages to fight off their pursuers and board an armored train waiting for them at an industrial complex. On the train, Tyler fights off 2 helicopters sent by Zurab to intercept them. One team manages to board the train and goes to the engine to bring it to a halt. Nick fights off the Nagazis and keeps the train moving. Tyler protects Ketevan and her kids from being captured. The train has no brakes and crashes out at the end of the line, but the whole group survives. They get to a plane and escape to Vienna, but Sandro, who idolizes his father, secretly contacts his uncle and reveals their location. He uses Yaz's satellite phone on the flight to call Zurab. Zurab tells Sandro that Ketevan planned this. She had wanted to take Sandro away for many years now, and now Sandro is with the man who killed David. Ketevan tells Nick that Tyler is her brother-in-law. Nick realizes that this is not just a job, it is personal for Tyler. Sandro confronts Tyler, who tells Sandro that David was keeping Ketevan prisoner against her wishes. But Sandro is convinced that David was protecting his family for his enemies by keeping them in prison, and it is Ketevan who plotted to kill David. Tyler tells Sandro that Ketevan stayed with David to keep him and Nina safe. Now it's up to Sandro to believe her or let himself be consumed by his father's lies. Zurab and his men find and attack Tyler and his team in their DC Towers Safehouse in Vienna. Ketevan scolds her son for endangering his own family and naivete. In the chaos, Sandro abandons his mother and joins Zurab. Yaz goes after Sandro to bring him back and get separated from Nick and Tyler. Nick goes to rescue Yaz, but her car is stuck by a grenade launcher. Tyler goes to rescue Nick and Yaz, but Zurab has them pinned down and they cannot exit the building perimeter. Tyler decides to take the helicopter, which was at the top of the building. Tyler, Nick and Yaz fight their way through. Nick is knocked unconscious at the edge of the building and is about to slide off when Tyler grabs her and stops her from falling to her death. Zurab finds them and shoots Tyler's hand, but he doesn't let go of Nick. Nick regains consciousness and shoots at Zurab, allowing Tyler to save Nick and escape. The team flees in one of Zurab's helicopters, but Zurab mortally wounds Yaz. The team retreat to Tyler's cabin, where he and Ketevan are reunited with Mia. Tyler apologizes to Mia for leaving on a mission before their son died from cancer, regretful that the last memory he had was Tyler leaving him. Avtandil, Zurab's right-hand man and uncle, discourages Zurab from seeking revenge to prevent more losses and to set a better example for his nephew. Refusing, Zurab kills Avtandil and contacts Tyler, telling him to meet at a nearby airfield next to a church. Tyler heads to the airfield but, unwilling to risk losing her, leaves Nick behind. Tyler kills the remaining Nagazi and finds Zurab and Sandro in the church, with Sandro wearing an explosive vest. Zurab forces Sandro to take Tyler's pistol, but Sandro, having realized his mistake and what kind of people his father and uncle really are, refuses to shoot Tyler. Nick arrives and disarms the vest, while Tyler fights and kills Zurab. Tyler and Nick are left wounded as police storm the church. In the aftermath, Nick and Tyler are imprisoned, and Mia informs Tyler that Ketevan and her children have been moved to protective custody. Mia helped Ketevan make a deal with the Americans to disclose the operations of the Nagazi, but their financial assets are frozen, locking Ketevan out of any money. Tyler tells her to give them $1 million cash, which he had hidden under the floorboards in his cabin. She assures Tyler that their son died believing his father was a hero. Tyler is taken out of prison to meet with the stranger from the beginning, who has come with another job in return for Tyler's freedom. Tyler says he will not accept it without Nick, only to find that the stranger has brought Nick as well. As the film concludes,